Many of us here at Evo India have honed our driving skills behind the wheel of a Maruti Suzuki. For Sirish, it was a Zen. For me, it was an Esteem. And it's a similar story for enthusiasts all over the country. Maruti Suzuki knows how to make great drivers' cars. But does that tradition still continue with this new Swift? Well, I brought it down to my favorite driving road to figure out if this is still a great driving car for an enthusiast to hone their skills. Before we begin though, make sure you subscribe to the Evo India channel and hit that bell notification icon to stay notified. Since 2005, we've had 4 generations of the Swift, each sticking to one formula: stylish looks, sporty dynamics, and excellent fuel efficiency wrapped in an affordable package. At Evo India, we are all huge fans of the Swift, and this time we're focusing on the 2024 Swift. I know everyone says it's down on power and a cylinder, but is it still a great driver's car? Let's start with the Heartect platform that underpins the Swift. It's lightweight, but it still has good torsional rigidity. Then there's the suspension, McPherson struts at the front and a torsion beam at the back. Tried and tested, but really sorted. It gives the Swift that playful, predictable dynamics that it's famous for. Whether you're a seasoned enthusiast or a newbie, there's still fun to be had behind the wheel of a Swift. One of the reasons why the Swift is such a great driver's car is the way it handles. It's just so much fun to throw around the bends. This was true of all previous generation Swifts, and the new Swift still maintains that DNA. Turn it into a corner and the front end reacts really nicely. And the good thing is that there's this lovely sensation of the rear end wanting to pivot around the front axle. Instead of understeer, you actually get a little bit of oversteer if you try hard enough. And what's great is that none of this is ever scary. It feels very natural, very forgiving, very predictable in the way it handles. If you want to master car control, the Swift is a very good place to start. All of this doesn't come at the expense of ride quality. In fact, the new Swift rides better than the old one. The ground clearance of 163 mm also helps with tackling our broken roads. And there's so much more to it than that. All of the driving controls, they are a joy to use. The steering, the gear shift, the pedals, all of them. The steering is light, but it's precise. It makes it so easy to place the car exactly where you want. The gear shift is slick. It has a nice short throw, and the way it slots into gear is just so satisfying. And the pedals, well, the clutch, it is progressive. The brake has really good feel, and the throttle is very responsive. So it makes it easy for you to blip the throttle on a downshift. So that means the Swift is actually a very good car to learn how to heel and toe. And that brings me to the engine, the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder Z series engine. This is the first time the Swift has received a 3-cylinder, and there are some very good reasons that Maruti has decided to go in this direction. One of them is fuel efficiency, but we will get to that later. But apart from that, this has to be one of the best 3-cylinders on the market today. It is so smooth. In fact, it might even be smoother than some 4-cylinders out there. Maruti has paid a lot of attention to the drivability and the tractability of this engine. And let me demonstrate. I am in 3rd gear. I'm going to slow down. I'm at around 1000 RPM now. I'm doing just above 20 kmph, and I'm going to slowly get on the gas again. Look at how smoothly it accelerates again. I'm not touching the gearbox. I'm not touching the clutch. I'm at 50. I'm at 60. Smooth, no fuss, and this is what makes it so easy to drive in the city. On the flip side, this engine is so much fun to rev out. The best part is the Swift still has proper analog gauges, so you can enjoy watching the tachometer sweep across to 6000 RPM as you roll through the gears. Speaking of the gauges, there are other things that make the Swift's interior driver-centric. The seats, for instance, they are nice and large, they're very comfortable, and they have good side bolstering. The driver's seat also adjusts for height, so you can get into a nice comfortable driving position. The steering wheel has a nice thin rim, it's covered in leather, so it's really nice to hold, and the gear lever falls really nicely, easily to hand. Speaking of which, if you want an automatic, there is the AGS, which is really easy and convenient to use in the city, but you can also shift it manually. There are other amenities too, like the automatic climate control, a 22.86cm infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, steering mounted controls for the audio system and cruise control, and even a wireless charger. Rear seat passengers haven't been forgotten. They get AC vents, two USB ports, and a comfortable bench seat with a headrest. Safety has also vastly improved in this generation, with 6 airbags now standard across the range, along with ABS, electronic stability program, and hill hold assist. And now for the big question, kitna deti hai? This new Swift is very fuel efficient, with Maruti Suzuki claiming a fuel efficiency of 24.8 for the manual and 25.75 kmpl for the AGS. I've been driving this Swift as my long-termer, and even with some enthusiastic driving, it rarely ever drops below 16 kmpl. And that's the great thing about Maruti Suzukis. Whether you push them as hard as you can, they will always remain reliable and fuel efficient. And with service stations all over the place and famously low service costs, you can enjoy the thrill of driving without breaking the bank. The Swift has evolved a lot over the last 20 years, but its core DNA remains largely the same, and that is a good thing. Maruti Suzuki nailed the formula the first time out, so there was no need for drastic changes. While a lot of cars have gotten bigger, heavier, and more expensive, the Swift stays true to its DNA, and that is why it is such a great driver's car for a young enthusiast or even a seasoned enthusiast. Do you have any memories with this Swift? Do let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you do like this video, share it with your friends, leave us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and stay tuned for more videos just like this.